So if you go back 25 years ago, cold pressure or cold pressed juice was just coming online. They developed a technique basically to take high pressure and in the final vessel, like the actual bottle that you're gonna drink it from, they put that bottle into a hyperbaric chamber and they compress with hydraulics more and more water into this tank until the pressure, it reaches about 3 times the intensity of the bottom of the ocean. So it's extremely high pressure. The cool thing about the pressure is it doesn't pop the bottle. If you think of a bottle and pressure, all the pressure points are exactly the same. There's not one spot that has more pressure and a spot that has less pressure. If it did, the bottle would burst. So we looked at what the cold juice were doing, the juice folks. We looked at what the meat packing and meat processing industry was doing. They were doing the same thing. They were putting basically like a Ziploc bag around the meat. They were putting it in hyperbaric chambers. They were cold pressing their meat, and that would kill the pathogens. It kills Listeria, it kills E. coli, but it keeps all the good proteins and all the good vitamins and minerals in their original state. So shelf life extension was the original intent. We went down to a hyperbaric chamber facility, and I brought 2 gallons of milk. And I asked the folks there if we could do an experiment. Would you allow us to put a gallon of milk in the hyperbaric chamber and test it against the non-hyperbaric chamber milk? And they looked at me like, are you sure? If that thing leaks or something happens to it, the full gallon would release into our water, and there's thousands of gallons of water. So I had to agree to do the cleaning fee if this didn't work. So I signed my life away, right? Okay, no problem. Let's just see if this works. They put it in a plastic bag just to double ensure that it wouldn't leak. It didn't leak. So the first thing we found was that the closure for our particular bottle was good. The second thing that we found is it actually changed the texture of the product. And the really cool thing about high pressure, it's similar to a sponge. If you think about a sponge that you squeeze, and you put that sponge underwater, and while it's underwater, you release the sponge, what it's doing is it's filling all those cells with the liquid that you've dipped it in. Our casein protein and our whey proteins, the 2 proteins that are naturally found in dairy, do the same thing. They're very similar to a sponge effect where when we pressurize them, they compress. When we depressurize them, they then soak up the moisture, if you will, the water in our dairy. The result is a really creamy texture with the exact same product. We haven't done anything different to it. We haven't changed the molecular structure in that sense. We haven't taken anything out. We've just allowed it to absorb the water that was naturally there. So you end up with a really creamy, really smooth, and an extended shelf life milk product. We're the only dairy company doing this. Why? We just asked the question. And we were basically looking for a solution for shelf life, and we found it through high pressure.